A fierce woman knows her worth even when the world tells her she's too much. She refuses to shrink to fit others' expectations. Being a fierce woman doesn't mean life isn't going to stop being rough at times. But being fierce means you make choices where in those challenging moments, the storm, it can't shake you. Welcome back to another episode of the Dangerous Women podcast. I'm your host, Colleen Conlon, and we're going to do things a little bit differently today. So I've kind of been going back and forth trying to figure out if this is something that I wanted to share on the Dangerous Women podcast, and I have decided, yes, in fact it is, and it is my Find Your Fierce Masterclass. So if you have been following me on I Am Colleen Conlon, you have probably heard or seen the branding around the idea of Find Your Fierce. However, if you are just finding me through this podcast, you're probably thinking, okay, what the fuck does that mean? And I want to explain that to you. And it's a little challenging to fully explain it to you. But Find Your Fierce is truly about finding your authentic self and allowing that version of yourself to truly come out and allow you to realize that you are limitless and capable of going after anything that you desire. And for so many women that I have brought this to, it can turn into all of these different and wild things. So for the sake of continuity, I want to share with you what I have written for it in the emails that I send out. And it's this. Find Your Fierce is about reconnecting with your authentic, powerful self so you can step into the woman you've always dreamed of being. Through kettlebell strength training, you overcome challenges, build confidence, and tap into your inner superhero. It's about unlocking your unique powers and proving you are capable of anything. Now, what I have come to realize is it is totally possible to find your fierce without doing anything with a kettlebell. For me, that was the medium that allowed me to initially unlock my fierce. But when I have this conversation with other women who, are clearly fierce in nature and maybe they have never touched a kettlebell, it's allowed me to realize, we don't need the kettlebell in order to do this, but we do need something that allows us to challenge ourselves. And that could be through a physical challenge like exercise. It could even be through some type of a mental or emotional challenge, like working on yourself in therapy. And you know what? I feel like I'm just like talking a lot about it, and we're just going to dive into the masterclass materials. This is an episode that I'm hoping you will come back to. And the way this is going to go down today is I will teach this masterclass. I will give you some more context. We will do some journaling. We will do some visualizations. And that's the part that I'm hoping you come back to, because as you continue to evolve on this journey that is life, your fierce, she will probably change a little bit. I remember like the first time I did this exercise, I envisioned like me as a queen and there was a dragon. And then the last time I did this, I saw myself as like an Egyptian priestess with a panther and two swords like flying in the air. So, and I know that might sound a little crazy right now, but I promise it will make more sense over the next hour together. So all to say, this is an episode that I hope you come back to at any point in time where it feels like you don't have that confidence, you don't have that spark, you don't have that flame burning inside of you. And it happens because there are always going to be high seasons of life and low seasons of life. And anytime you find yourself in kind of that murky lower season, I want to encourage you to come back to this episode, go right back to where the journaling and the visualizations start so that you can do the work to reconnect with your fierce. But if this is your first time hearing about the idea of Find Your Fierce, we got to go back to the beginning. So let's fucking go. Welcome to the Find Your Fierce Masterclass. In this next hour, I am going to help remind you who you are and help you identify who you want to be and how to embody your inner lioness so that fear is not limiting you from becoming who you are destined to be. Now, like totally breaking the wall here, I really like to keep this kind of stuff interactive. And I understand that you are listening to me. This is a pre-recording thing. We are not live together right now. But there are going to be moments where I ask you, just like chime in, give me a yes, give me a head nod, give me what I'm asking for. And it's just really going to help keep you in it to win it. Okay? So if you are in it to win it and find your fierce today, say yes. Okay, perfect. What do you think makes a woman fierce? I want you to take some time and actually think about it. When you hear that word, fierce, what do you see? What do you think of? Maybe it's a person, maybe it's a visual, maybe it's a word, but what do you got? Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, you are about to see a bunch of different words and visuals pop up on the screen. So just know that if I'm saying anything where you're just like, where is the imagery? You can go to the YouTube video to check it out, but I will read what is on the screen right now for you. So what makes a fierce woman? It's determination. It's authenticity, being independent, being courageous, being the survivor, being tough, bold, resilience, compassion, empathy, a hard worker, unapologetic, strong, driven, accountable, responsible, assertive, brave, confidence, unshakable, courageous, tough. There's a fearlessness. Or, maybe the fierce woman is scared, but she fucking does it anyway. When you think of yourself and you see and hear words like this in front of you, do they resonate? Maybe they don't all resonate, but do you already know that these are probably some qualities that you already have? If you feel like you have any of the qualities of the words that I just said, say yes. Say yes. I already am fierce. There's a fierceness inside of me. Yes, I am fierce. Say it. Now listen, I will tell you, the fact that you are listening right now to this masterclass, it just proves that you are determined to find your fierce and you are taking accountability for your life to find that part of yourself. You have already proved that there truly is a fierceness inside of you, and I just want to commend you for that. Now, listen, a fierce woman, she embodies confidence, strength, and is resilient. She knows her worth and stands firm in her beliefs. She is unafraid to express herself authentically because fierceness is rooted in emotional strength, the ability to face challenges head on, and the courage to pursue goals, even in the face of adversity. A fierce woman, she takes ownership of her life. She values both her physical and mental health and continuously works on becoming the best version of herself. Fierce women embrace both their vulnerabilities and their power, balancing compassion with assertiveness, and they uplift others along the way. A fierce woman is very much a dangerous woman. And I would say before we become the dangerous woman, we have to find our fierce and begin to own what that word is, even if it's just beginning to own it in incremental pieces one at a time. I will tell you firsthand, I did not become a dangerous woman overnight. It was about 8 years ago where I found that spark and began to find my fierce. And it has been an evolution of going through all of these different challenges, whether it's be with the kettlebell or, doing work in therapy that has allowed me to evolve to the point where I am currently. But when you hear fierce woman and dangerous woman, I want you to understand that we are talking about two very similar concepts. Now, being fierce, you need to understand this. Being fierce is a choice, and it starts with you taking accountability and responsibility for yourself. You're taking care of your body physically, in your workouts, with your nutrition, prioritizing sleep, prioritizing play so that you feel good. You want to feel fierce because it's the key to feeling truly good in your life. Choosing to be fierce is a decision to live life in your favor. It means stepping into your power, feeling incredible in your body, unstoppable, strong, and in love with yourself. Even if you're like not exactly where you want to be yet, you know it's possible because you are committed to making it happen. It's a priority, and that energy, it seeps into everything else in your life. And first, it starts with how you take care of yourself, your body, your mind, fitness, nutrition, mindset. You tapping into that fierce energy, that makes you empowered and unstoppable. And when you feel good in your skin, you start to show up differently. When you feel strong in your body and your mind, you move forward in your career, stepping up as a leader or a valuable team player who lifts others up. And when you feel good in your body and your mind, you enter relationships with mutual respect. And if that respect isn't there, you're not afraid to stand up for yourself and walk the fuck away because you know your worth. And when you feel good in your body and your mind, you realize life isn't a competition with others. You recognize everyone has their own unique strengths and gifts. And when you feel good, you see life as a gift, something to fully experience in the present. You embrace the wins, the challenges, the gratitudes. And in doing so, the world becomes your queendom. And you wear the crown with pride. If you want to feel fierce because you know it will make you feel good in your body and your mind, and it will positively impact everything in your life from this point forward, say yes. All right, we got some fun visuals on the screen right now. So if you can't see the screen, I'm going to read it to you. We have all of these different fierce looking women. We have, one who looks like a Spartan. We have a softer looking woman who is walking with a lion. We have a woman who looks like a goddess. And then we have the Mona Lisa flipping us off. It says fierce doesn't mean life isn't going to be tough at times. It's about how you handle it. And then here we have some quotes next to each of these women. We have, she wasn't looking for a knight. She was looking for a sword. A fierce woman is not the one who is never afraid, but the one who pushes through fear anyway. She is fierce, but her power lies in her flexibility, strong enough to stand tall, yet soft enough to bend without breaking. A fierce woman knows her worth even when the world tells her she's too much. She refuses to shrink to fit others' expectations. Being a fierce woman doesn't mean life isn't going to stop being rough at times, but being fierce means you make choices where in those challenging moments, the storm, it can't shake you. For example, you can stay calm and collected. Fierceness isn't about reacting emotionally or impulsively. It's about taking a breath, gathering yourself, and responding with grace under pressure. Being fierce means you can reframe the setbacks. So you see challenges as opportunities. Fierce women don't feel obstacles as failures. They view them as stepping stones. They ask, well, what can I learn from this? Or how can I grow stronger because of this? Fierce women, they take action, not pity. A fierce approach means pivoting when things go wrong, not wallowing in self-doubt or disappointment. Fierce women figure out their next move and keep progressing, even if it's in a different direction than it was planned. Fierce women, they own their emotions. Fierce women do not suppress their feelings, but they also don't let them control their actions. They acknowledge how they feel, then channel that emotion into a positive action. They are persistent. When things don't go as planned, fierceness is showing up anyway. It's putting in the work even when it's hard. Fierce women keep their long-term vision in mind, knowing every setback is temporary. Fierce women stay true to their inherent self-worth. Even if things fall apart, they don't let it diminish their value or what they deserve. They remind themselves that setbacks do not define potential or self-worth. They communicate with confidence. Listen to this one. They communicate with confidence. When things go wrong, they communicate assertively, not from a place of weakness or frustration. Fierce women know how to speak their truth calmly and confidently, even in tough situations. And they understand that nobody is a mind reader. They practice gratitude. Instead of focusing solely on what's not working, fierce women shift their focus to what they do have, finding gratitude even in hard times. All of that is fucking fierce. And that's why it's not enough to just be like, hey, this is fierce, because it's so much. So if you're still listening to this episode, I'm going to take it as a sign that you want to find your fucking fierce. And right now, you probably don't feel super fierce. Maybe you feel fine. And you saying, I'm fine, is how I am going to respond, thinking that you need help. And I'm going to help you. So listen up. You're here right now because something's kind of off. And you know deep down that you're meant to be the woman who walks into a room and she's turning heads and she feels unstoppable in her mind and her body. You want to be the person who looks in the mirror and thinks, damn, I love who I am. The woman who's crushing it at work, feeling confident in her relationships, and is owning it. Lights on, no fear, bitches. That's who you want to be. But let's be real for a second. Right now, you don't feel that way, or at least not at the level that you desire to feel it. So maybe, you're avoiding looking in the mirror because it's hard to love what you currently see. Maybe you're frustrated because you know you're capable of more, but something is holding you back. Maybe you're not showing up as the confident woman you know you can be, or you're not going all in at the gym or your career or life. And here's the thing. When it comes to your workouts, your nutrition, your mindset, again, that's where this starts. That's where it starts. You're not tapping into that fierce energy you have inside of you. You're not seeing yourself for the strong, powerful woman you really are. You're playing small, not turning up the intensity the way you could be. You feel fine, but you want to feel fierce. In this masterclass today, I'm going to show you how to unlock that fierce version of yourself, the version who is unstoppable inside and outside, the woman who's ready to own every part of her life with confidence, power, and grace. If that sounds good, say fuck yes more, please. This was me. And if you can't see the visuals, go make it a note to check out YouTube later on. But I had serious control issues. I struggled with an eating disorder for a decade. I felt like I had zero voice in a family where we all looked perfect on the outside, but on the inside, I felt like I was screaming. The only time I felt alive was when I got to perform on stage and pretend to be somebody that I was not. In my early 20s, I started taking a lot of cardio classes. I was trying so hard to stay skinny in a healthier way, but it wasn't happening. And then I found kettlebells. And it was the first time I ever faced a challenge that was physical, that required more than brute strength or good endurance. It required me to become very present in my body. It required me to connect with my breath. It required me to visualize what I needed to happen before I would even attempt it. It helped me learn to trust myself, that when all these pieces came together, magic could happen. And that's exactly what I experienced. And in doing so, I began to feel a spark of the word fierce in my body. And I began to believe, so long as I follow the right strategy, I can do incredible things. And that's exactly what I fucking do. Within the next few years, my life changed. And if you're looking at the screen right now, you're going to see some different things, like me doing a flag my Guinness World Record, my book, my body looking very different, and just the energy of the smile on my face is dialed up, and not from a forced way, but because I really felt like I now had a glow. This all happened because of that initial spark, that spark that came from trying something new, trying something challenging, trying something outside of my comfort zone, and seeing that I could overcome a challenge that initially made me think, what the fuck do you want me to do? Talking positively to myself throughout the process and then replicating it in every situation that I came up against, that's what changed me and allowed me to find my fierce. In all of these situations that I have found myself in, I have focused in on staying calm and being brave. And if I hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to, you know, throw these kettlebells around without hurting myself. And in the process, I learned it's so important to figure out how to love yourself no matter where your body is at. And it's so cool because now I get to wake up every day and I look at the mirror and I feel in love. I feel truly in love with myself because I see potential and I see possibility. And I know that I can use my fierceness to achieve my goals. And I know that, everything, it doesn't happen overnight. Nothing is a quick fix. But with the right plan, I know that I can accomplish it because I've found my fierce. And all of this stuff that I am sharing with you, I want you to understand that this isn't me just being like, yes, this is how you find your fierce. I have been doing this with women for years now. And it's so cool to see how, for so many of us, it does start with that kettlebell, but it evolves in different ways. So I have a couple of videos here that I want to share with you. Again, if you're not watching this on YouTube right now, you are going to hear some like wild and crazy things. You're not going to see everything. But I would love to encourage you to go to YouTube and check out these clips, because what's about to happen is you are going to see an example of 4 different women who have done truly remarkable things in their physically body, and it has allowed them to pivot career paths, to leave toxic relationships, to go back to school, and do things that are really going to give them so much more in life because they were able to tap into that initial spark of the concept of Find Your Fierce. And on the screen, we see her doing a Turkish getup with a 12 kg kettlebell. Fast forward, and we see a Turkish getup with a 24 kilo kettlebell. The next video we're going to see is from a client who lost over 20 pounds and gained some insane strength. She quit cardio and became a kettlebell queen. In that video, you see where her kettlebell journey started with a 12 kilo kettlebell, a 16 kilo kettlebell, and how within 2 years, she started squatting over 100 pounds, holding 2 kettlebells, one in each hand. So we're seeing this woman learning how to do a Turkish getup, just body weight. And within 12 weeks, she could do that Turkish getup with a 12 kg kettlebell. And then fast forward 2 years later, she can do it with a 32 kg kettlebell. Strong, lean, fierce from the inside out. Kettlebells transformed me, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. They took me from surviving to thriving, and now I'm here to help you do the same. Whether you're a 30 something or 70 something year old woman, strength training is going to be gold for you as you continue moving forward on your fitness journey. And my virtual kettlebell training programs are designed just for you. No gym needed, no fluff, just results. Since 2020, I've helped women across the globe virtually build strong, lean bodies from the comfort of their living room. My mission is to help you meet the version of yourself that you've always dreamed of, the woman you were destined to be. I want to help you find your fierce. Here's what I have to offer: progressive strength training programs designed to help you build muscle, drop body fat, and feel more confident every single day with a kettlebell. I also offer private virtual training. Get one-on-one coaching with me to perfect your form, progress faster, and crush your personal goals. And the best part about pairing with me is my powerful community. We're here to support your transformation because I believe that to go far, you have to go with a team by your side. The only thing standing between you and your transformation at this point is one decision. Are you ready to feel fierce, unstoppable, and unapologetically you? If yes, visit www.colleenconlon.com and see what offers make the most sense for where you are at today. And then we have one more video. This is a woman who lost close to 50 pounds over a 2-year period, and she gained some incredible strength as well. These are examples of women that I work with. If you check out my book, Kettlebell Catalyst, you can learn more about them. All of the women that you just saw or heard me speak about have stories in that book. And I just want you to understand that this is so much more than getting strong, building muscle, getting lean. And I believe all of those things are important, and all of those things are things we should consider working towards if it's going to help improve our health. But finding your fierce is about so much more. It's about realizing that nothing is impossible just because it has yet to become a part of your current reality. Finding your fierce, it is a constant practice. I like to think as finding your fierce is a constant practice. I like to think of fierce kind of like a flame, and you have to continue to nurture the flame by practicing the strategies to see it and continue to allow the flame to burn brightly and eventually grow. And that's what we are almost ready to dive into. Now, again, in order to find your fierce, I do not believe it has to be with a kettlebell. But again, for me, like ground floor, yeah, it did start that way. For me, ground floor to finding my fierce was being able to put it into practice with strength training with kettlebells and starting to eat with the focus of trying to build muscle. Now, once I switched to focusing in on strength training versus just doing a lot of cardio, I saw that I could do things that once seemed impossible, like pull-ups. And I also started to see my body composition change, and it was cuckoo bananas to me because it was changing, yet I was still able to eat a lot of food without restricting myself. And I was actually doing less movement that I had in the past. And I found this to be like mind boggling. So, cardio, it burns a lot of calories. But if you have more muscle, you actually burn more calories at rest. And that can help you to drop body fat and maintain fat loss a lot easier. Now, cardio for me, it felt like a means to being small. Whereas with strength training, it felt like a way to embody strength and power, which made me really look forward to working out versus seeing it as a chore or a punishment. And something that I think a lot of women can relate to in doing strength training is the fact that society often underestimates our physical strength as women. So when we prove otherwise by lifting heavy, it starts to shatter the myth that there are limits that we actually have as women. And I really appreciate that because it's a great reminder that the idea that a woman can't do something is just a fucking lie. And for me, in the process of beginning to strength train and eating differently, it allowed me to start having a much more positive relationship with my body. So I grew up in a house, and if you've listened to other episodes of this podcast, you probably already know this, but I grew up in a house filled with diet bars, diet foods, 100-calorie snacks. My parents were always trying to lose weight, and I didn't understand that you could like actually use food as fuel to feel energized and have the body of your dreams without doing extreme things. Now, understand that it does take time to change your body. It might not be a quick 4-week fix, but once I realized that it was possible for me, I was able to fully commit to working with a registered dietitian and learning to love my relationship with food. You know, food to me, it turned into something where I could actually view it as a means of celebration and memories, and also as strategy to feel energized and sculpt my body without feeling like I was starving myself. Now, once I began to embrace a fierce training style and eating to fuel my body, I saw these changes and I got these hot muscles and I got superhuman strength and I got more energy and I had energy for crushing workouts, crushing work, and I still had energy for sex. And it was like so hard to get into this way of doing things because, you know, I didn't see a lot of other women on the same path. You know, I saw more women doing cardio complaining about needing to lose some weight. I typically see more women saying, you know, carbs are the devil. I didn't see a lot of women's strength training when I started the journey, and I didn't see a lot of women eating a lot of protein. And understand this was like pre hanging out on Instagram. Now, I think it's really hard to jump on the train when you don't see as many people on it, but that's what allowed me to become something that not a whole lot of women are. And that's fear. Just because not everyone is doing it, it doesn't mean it's wrong or bad. It might just be because, you know, they haven't had the opportunity to experience it yet, or they're scared, or they might not know any different. It might mean stepping outside of their comfort zone. It might mean, you know, needing to adopt new habits, which is hard. And most people, they don't want hard. They want easy. And can I tell you something? It's so fucking worth it when you do hard things because the rewards that you get are priceless. I freaking love the screen right now. The strategy to becoming fierce, part 2, the mindset piece. In order to go from little girl hiding in the corner energy with her teddy bear and her blankie sucking her thumb to becoming the glowing, strong, goddess, warrior, fierce woman energy, it's the mindset and it's the choices that you make. You have to choose to embody the fierce woman. Mindset for me, it was always a 2-part monster to slay. Because number one, I had a lot of trauma that I could no longer run away from because it was literally destroying my life. I needed to get into therapy and rewire how I saw relationships, be it romantic, platonic, professional, and between me and my family. And the second piece to this was that I had a lot of work that I needed to do on my own that was practicing being in a mature state versus having moments of panic and reverting back to acting like a little girl. And I'd have to practice this in my relationships, but it started with me in my own relationship with training and nutrition. And I want to give you an example for this. So, for example, if I didn't hit as many reps as I was hoping to, I had to pivot the mindset to thinking I was weak and that I failed. I had to start viewing it as, wow, I gave this my all. And I'm really proud of me for pushing to getting to a place of discomfort. If I accidentally didn't hit my macro targets because I had an emotional week, I had to practice not getting upset about it and saying, fuck it. And instead, I had to tell myself, it's okay. You're still making progress. Don't throw in the towel. Next meal, next choice, make it one that's going to support the woman that you want to be. And the things that really helped me were telling myself, I can become the woman that I dream of. I actually made a vision of her. I found words that represented her, and I found an element that represented her too. I found an animal that lives by her side, and I kind of view that animal as her protector. And I found music that she listens to when she needs peace and when she needs empowerment. And these practices of visualizing the woman that I dreamed of becoming, these practices, they made me feel connected to her because they were already a part of me. And when I find myself triggered and that like little girl energy wants to take over, I pause and I ask myself, who needs to handle this? The little girl or the fierce woman? And the answer is always fucking clear. It's always the woman. We always want the woman taking over. And then I think, how would she approach this? And that's exactly how I respond every time. This practice, it keeps me rooted in my fierceness. I remind the little girl that the fierce woman is in control and she can handle things from here. And that's possible because that's who I am. I'm a woman. I'm not a little girl. And if you're on this call right now, I want to remind you too, you're not a little girl anymore. Now is the time to take ownership that you are a woman and a fierce one at that. So let's go pull her out. We are about to dive in to the action steps to finding your fierce. So here's what's going to happen. I have a number of journal prompts and you are going to answer them to the best of your ability. And I want you to do your best to not judge them. So the first thing that comes to you, understand that it is coming to you for a reason. It is really a message from this authentic piece of you. It's coming from the universe. It's coming from God. Whatever you believe in, just trust that it is coming to you for a reason. And if you are ready to dive in, I want you to say, yes, I am ready to receive my fierce. As we go into this next step, I'm going to share the question with you. And then I want to encourage you to pause the podcast so you can take whatever time you need to answer that question. Question number 1. What does this fierce woman inside of you look like at her bare essence? I want you to picture her physical appearance, her hair, her makeup, if she has any, her body shape. Is she fierce because of how she carries herself, the way she moves, or the confidence in her eyes? Pause. Question number 2. This is an epic interpretation we want to create. So, is she a woman? Is she a goddess? A superhero? A queen? How do these identities influence her appearance and presence? Does knowing that she embodies one of those roles change the way that you see her? And what does that say about her energy and spirit? Okay, that was a lot, but that was all question number 2. Pause. Question number 3. Does she have any powers? And I want you to try to think beyond the ordinary. What extraordinary abilities does she possess? Can she fly? Does she have superhuman strength or the power to communicate with unwavering clarity? Maybe she's in perfect harmony with her body, or she calms the chaos with her mere presence. Explore unique powers that make her fierce. Pause. Question 4. Let's think about feminine energy versus masculine energy. So, reminder, men and women all have both. It's our yin and yang. Now, see her as your feminine energy. Okay, so feminine energy is all about being, it's the flow, it's creativity, it's softness, it's beauty, it's music, it's dance, it's like feelings of running freely or splashing in a lake, embracing intuition. That's all feminine. But she's also supported by masculine energy, the doing energy. This is her protector, her structure, her strategy, her logic. It's the workout plan, it's the nutrition guide, it's the path that she walks with confidence, knowing that her fierce animal is there to keep her safe. So I want you to imagine her animal. Is it something you could find in nature? Or maybe it is a mythical creature or something prehistoric. See this animal as her guardian, her protector that helps to embody her strength and provides her with security. And then if you want to take it a step further, give the animal a name. Pause. Question 5. Where are you two? Visualize a scene. Notice what elements surround you. Earth represents grounding and stability. Wind embodies change and freedom. Fire represents power and passion. Water flows with intuition and emotion. Notice what elements are swarming you and your animal, and how does that make you feel? Pause. Okay, last question. What do you hear in the vision? Is there a song, a sound, a mantra? Perhaps it's a few words or a rhythm that makes you feel powerful and centered. Pause. Okay, so now that you have done this work, just bringing elements of her to the top of your mind, we're going to put the journal off to the side and we're going to go into our visualization practice. So I want you to plan for roughly 10 minutes where we will go through this visualization practice so you can help yourself find your fierce. Make sure as you do this visualization practice that you are not distracted by anything else. Find yourself in a space where it is just you. Maybe you even turn the lights out. Maybe you light a candle. But make sure when you do this, you are able to be present so you can receive the message that your fierce wants to share with you. Now listen, this woman that you are writing about, she's not separate from you. It's her at your core. Everything that you're imagining, it exists within you and it's waiting to be uncovered. So as you find yourself in a comfortable position, take a breath. Let's take 3 breaths. We'll inhale for a count of 3, exhale for a count of 4. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to notice your toes. Wiggle them. Bring the awareness to the arches of your feet. And then move it towards your calves. And maybe you point and flex your feet and notice how that feels on the calves. Start to notice the tops of your legs and the backs. Maybe you even place your fingers on your thighs and give them a little wiggle too. Focus in on your glutes. Take a moment to tense them up as aggressively as you can, and then relax them. Feeling yourself melting into the floor. Start to notice your shoulders. Allow them to reach up towards your earlobes. And then pull them as far down you can. Start to look from side to side. Eyes can remain shut or open. And just notice how that feels on your neck. Take another deep breath. And at this point, make sure your eyes are closed. We are about to find your fierce. Bring your hands towards your hair. Touch her hair. What's it feel like? Start to see her face. Does she have on any makeup? Or is her face clean? Start to scan her body. Feel her body. There's no part that you are not allowed to touch. Touch what you want. And then start to watch her walk. How does she carry herself? Proud. Her chin is up, her chest is up, her shoulders are back. You can't take your eyes off of her. She is powerful. She is fierce. She is interesting. You can see life in her eyes. If you gave her powers, how do you see her using them right now? Does fire come out of her hands? Maybe wings appear out of her back and she can fly. Is she among chaos? And with a deep breath, the space drops into a state of calmness. Remember, she has an animal by her side. The animal is not a separate entity. It is part of her. It is part of you. She be the beauty, the animal be the beast. You both are the feminine and masculine intertwined. Watch how the two interact. What elements surround you? Earth be grounding and stability. Wind be change and freedom. Fire is the power and the passion. Water be the flow, intuition, and emotion. Which elements are swarming you and your animal? And how does it feel to be surrounded by that energy? Notice where in your body you feel that energy. Place your hand where you feel something shifting. That's where your fear speaks to you. Now listen closely. What do you hear? What is she trying to tell you? I want to give you an option right now. Option number 1, stay exactly where you are. Option number 2, stand up and begin to walk in the space as her. Imagine this version of you. She is you, or she wouldn't have come to you in this form. You are no longer you in your current body. You have stepped into the fierce that is you. What does the fierce version of you say when she looks in the mirror? What words does she use? How does she speak to herself? When your fierce is faced with a challenge or doubt, how does she respond? What does she do to overcome these obstacles? When your fierce enters the room, how does her presence affect those around her? How do people react to her confidence? What decision does your fierce self make when she's unsure or feeling vulnerable? How does she stay true to her worth and her power? Notice if the energy is shifting to another area of your body. When your fierce is going after a goal, whether it's in the gym, her career, her life, how does she pursue it? What drives her to succeed? She is worthy of this. You are worthy of this. We do not earn worth. We are inherently born with it. Remember, she is you and you are her. You are power. You are magic. You are woman. You are grit and grace. You are the beauty and the beast. You are the masculine and the feminine. You are capable of going after what you desire. If it wasn't meant for you, you wouldn't feel called to it. Every decision from here is an opportunity to move closer to embodying this fierce version of yourself. Your mission is to take small, consistent steps that are in alignment with this fierce woman that has come to you in this moment. What's one thing that you can do today to show up like this version of yourself? What action, it doesn't matter how small, will remind you that you are her and she is you? The more you believe and act in alignment with this vision, the more you will step into your fierce, unstoppable self. Open your eyes. Take a breath. Anything that you saw, write it down for yourself, because again, she will most likely evolve, and that is a beautiful thing. Now, if this is the first time that you are experiencing the idea of Find Your Fierce with me, and you feel called to dive deeper, and deeper meaning going in with the kettlebell and nutrition, I would love to invite you to learn more about my program called Swing to Snatch. If you are interested, you can find more information at www.colleenconlon.com. And if this is not the first time you have heard about this and you just needed the reminder, I want to leave you with this. Your fierceness is like a flame. It may flicker, but it's always there. It's waiting for you to nurture it. Believe in your ability to ignite that fire, because all it takes is a single spark to set a forest ablaze. Remember who you are. Remember you are capable of transformation. And know that once you find your fierce, there is nothing that you can't handle. Thanks for tuning in. If this episode hit home, don't forget to leave a rating and review. Women are stronger together, so share this with a woman who you want to see rise. When we embrace positive takeaways, we level up, and when we share them, we change the world. Follow us on Instagram at The Dangerous Women Podcast and let us know what you want to hear next. And remember, dangerous women redefine wellness and the world. So be fierce, be authentic, be dangerous.